I do want to say that, I mean, the absence of Joey Blunt this year, I think, really hurt this team, not because Joey's a superstar-type talent or anything like that, but his physicality, his ability to play inside, to make things more difficult on teams with his defensive abilities and his physicality down low. I think his lack of presence on this ball club this year really affected this team and how they played. I think it affected Trace and Race both in regard to minutes played, because those guys had to produce a lot more from a timing standpoint on the court. And they didn't have anybody. If those two guys were in foul trouble or they lost one of them, Jordan Geronimo was just too young and not big enough to be playing in a post position, even though he was asked to do so, and at times looked very good in doing it. But the freshmen, in my opinion, did not develop as we thought that they would. They showed signs at times, but as the games went on and the season went on, it looked to me like they all lost confidence in what they were trying to do out there. And so, to me, if there's one thing that has to change in this basketball team in getting ready for next season, it has to be the mentality. There's got to be a change in their mental makeup and how they go about things, and in the toughness factor mentally, because it's not a physical thing. This is a mental thing, and this team has got to take a look at that. I don't know what that calls for. I'm not a doctor or a coach, so I can't make the call there. I just know what I see, and in those areas, I think those are the big changes have to be taking place.
Yeah, because you looked around the league and a lot of freshmen out there, a lot of great freshmen out there, and they were very involved in their teams, and that's what you have to have on your team to be successful. It has to have all parts working in sync, and there was just a break in that chain for Indiana this year, and that was a big reason for the success of a lot of these other Big Ten teams being able to get that from all stages of their roster.
Right, there's no question, and there's no. I think the one thing that we do know is that Indiana's got one freshman recruit coming in, a transfer, Parker Stewart, that's on the roster right now. Even though he did not play at all here in the second semester, he could have, but opted out because of the passing of his father. That's the reason he transferred to Indiana in the first place. And you understand completely why the young man decided to opt out and not play for one semester of basketball, but. At the same time, that's probably where Archie Miller and the staff are going to look to bring in some transfers that may be able to help immediately. And the Duncombe kid out of Cincinnati, the 6'9", 235 post player, coming in should help that as well. We anticipate that Joey Blunt would likely come back and play another season in Indiana, which would help Race and Trace both. So they would have a lot more frontline help for next season as compared to this one where they were shorthanded in that regard. But it's about everybody improving. It's about everybody working on the things that they struggled with this year. Taking care of the basketball at times was a big problem. Shooting the basketball was the obvious issue that this team had from an offensive standpoint, whether that's Archie changing the offensive setup and how they go about their offensive system. I don't know, but I know that that's got to be fixed or they'll have no chance next year either.